If a founder is telling me that they're testing, it's a sure short sign it's gonna fail. Because as a founder, you have like so many things on the plate. You cannot just focus on one thing, and testing is something that you really need to be focused on. People say that we are going to automate everything. So you automate our testing activity and we will be good. When you ask them the question, what is the baseline for automation? They don't have that baseline. We are not the team. We are the gatekeepers. They're gonna say, yes, this can go out, this cannot go out.
Okay, Khurram, like we talked about a lot of successful stories in your career. Let's talk about how to step by step screw up QA testing. Because I think like a lot of process is like cooking a frog in the cold water. They don't even know. So like what are the signs that they are going to that direction?
Okay, the frog?
The frog, yeah.
Okay, the frog is going in that direction. I think the first thing is that they don't even see there is a need. They think we can do it. So the most typical thing I've heard as a feedback is a founder or a CTO or a CIO telling me, we can do it, right? Or we do it. Who tests? I do it. And how do you do it? I do it. Okay? That's the first telltale sign for me. If a founder is telling me that they're testing, it's a sure short sign it's gonna fail. Okay, it may not fail right now, but it will definitely fail in 6 months' time because as a CIO, CTO, as a founder, you have like so many things on the plate. You cannot just focus on one thing, and testing is something that you really need to be focused on. I mean, like it's not something that you can just say, oh, I'm gonna go into this call and come back and then test the software and then go on another call and then come back and test the software. It doesn't really work like that. You need to be very methodical about it. You need to be very process-centric about it. So I think if you have this kind of a step in your process that I will do it, it's pretty much going to screw up, right? That's the first thing I can tell you. The second thing is thinking that my dev team or my development vendor is great at testing or they can do the testing part. That is also screwing part number 2, in my opinion. Because it's like asking the analogy is if a developer is like a mother and the code is like his child, you're asking a mother to find flaws in the child, which is pretty much not going to happen, right? I mean, they're going to be like, it's fine. They may write some unit test cases and then it's okay. Testing is more about comprehensiveness. Like, what do you think from end to end the application to behave? And it's not about the developer. It's about the user who's going to use your application. You have to think about them. I don't imagine any developer thinking like this, that, like this user is going to do this part. And that is why I think QA has this beauty that is a creative field for me. You have to imagine yourself as that user. You're not that user. You have to imagine yourself, which means that you have to think beyond who you are and you have to be in their shoes and you have to understand, okay, how are they going to behave? I mean, are they going to use this app in when they're going on a train, let's say, right? So will this app stop working if it's like underground metro, for example, right? I mean, there are scenarios this application is going to be used. So you have to imagine that user. You have to be that user. You have to work like that user. You have to think like that user. So short, if you think your developers are going to do that or your development vendor is going to do that, it's not going to happen, The third one is where I have commonly heard people say that we are going to automate everything. Okay, so you automate our testing activity and we will be good. And when you ask them the question, what is the baseline for automation? They don't have that baseline. That's like saying you will build a house, but you will not have foundations. Okay, yes, you can build, but it's just a matter of time it's going to come down. And automation generally has this biggest problem that it's a lot of ROI upfront, a lot of investment upfront, and you only see the result of that investment down the road, right? And the other part is that you need to make sure that the automated scripts are also maintained every week, every month. If there is a change, you have to update them too. So there is a significant amount of investment that goes into it. So you need to be very smart with what you want to automate, why you want to automate, and for how long do you want to keep this automation static, and then you will need to upgrade that part. So that's also another problem where I've seen that people have this wrong expectation about testing and they think this is going to solve my problem, and it doesn't really solve their problem. They may have automated scripts available in their libraries, in their softwares, but it's not driving any value for these guys. And the last thing is that, we have done everything and everything is fine and we have no issues coming up. This is short, like something is going to come up kind of a story. I've seen cases where customers have literally told me this part, that we don't really need anything because we have done everything and we are covered. And a week later, I got a call that, something is not working. So the question is, always see what you are doing, where you stand in terms of the overall landscape, and then identify what is missing from the piece, because there will be something that is missing from the piece, and you will only get to know it. You're as strong as your weakest link. You only get to know that part when the link breaks, basically, right? That's when you only get to know. So it's very critical as a leader, as a founder, as a CTO, as a CIO, to keep an eye on these 3-4 areas, in my opinion.
Okay, if I decide to bring you in after my 4th stage cancer diagnosis, which is those 4 stages, what would happen? How can you
That's
help
a
me?
good seeing you.
Yeah.
Good to see you.
4th stage, there's still hope,
Yes,
right?
Well, there is always hope. It's just like, when do you want to really focus on the hope part? And you're like, yeah, there was hope. No, I'm sorry, but some things have no answer. If you engage a testing team when everything is just like burned to the ground, let me put it this way.
Yeah.
But there's nothing we can do then, right? I don't see what we can do. We can tell you, okay, what to do, most probably you would also know what not to do next time. But we can then reiterate, what not to do. Because the problem with bad quality software is, once it's in the hands of the customer, it's too late already.
Yeah.
People are not going to give you a second chance. They are not interested in me, in my product, right? They don't really care who I am. Mm-hmm. They are only interested in their own experiences. And once they think that their experience is not at a certain level, they will not come back. I don't see a point in them coming back even, Maybe if you are a monopoly in that market and you control everything, maybe they're stuck with you, so that's why they'll come back. But in any recent idea where you have 3 or 4 options to go to, and I think now that option size is not anymore 3 and 4, it's just literally 8 or 10. In that world, nobody's going to come back to you.
Okay, so over the 4 stages, in which stage you see still an hope? You can...
I see hope in the stage where... I see hope in all of those 3 or 4 stages. It's not like I don't see hope. The biggest problem is, in all of those stages, at what time do you come to us? Okay? If you have come to us post-launch, no matter what the stage is, it's not possible, because the customer has already seen... Because this is my 15 years experience. If the launch has gone bad, it's a disaster already. It's a disaster and a half, rather. You know why? Because then, first of all, it's about not fixing something. It becomes about who is to be blamed first. Okay? That is the biggest problem. Now, even if you get out of that problem, okay, you know what? Because you were not there, so they didn't know. It's about just change everything. It's a knee-jerk reaction. Change everything, right? Bring in a new dev partner. Bring new developers, bring new testing team.
New CIO,
new CTO. No, seriously, this is what it is. So it's a lot of knee-jerk reaction. And what do you do in the knee-jerk reaction? You cannot do anything. Unstable environments never really end up creating too much stable outputs as well. Okay, these are all unstable outputs. You need to stabilize the environment if you want some sort of stable output eventually. So in my opinion, if you have any of these ideas, you can still be fine as long as there is enough time for a testing company or team or your own testing team to do the proper testing process. But if the customer has already decided that the product is in the hands of the customer and they are saying, I don't want to use this product anymore, a testing team really cannot do anything, because testing is a part of the process, right? We are part of the overall game, which is called a product development, right? We are not the team. We are the gatekeepers. We are going to say, yes, this can go out, this cannot go out. But if you say, I'm not going to keep a gatekeeper, no matter who comes in, I don't really care. No matter who goes out, I don't really care. Well, then good luck, yeah? There's nothing else we can do.
So thank you so much for walking us through the 4 stages of screwing up
Of the disasters.
QA. Yeah, exactly. So make sure bring in the testing team as
Early, yes.
as possible.
Yes.
And then if you want to know how early, you can go to the episode of What is Kualitatem.
What is Kualitatem? Yes,
Yeah,
you should.
exactly.
Yes.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you,
Khurram.
Connie.
Yeah, see you next time.
Yep.